So in the previous post, I mentioned some general characteristics of Gothic sculpture, and now I'd like to cover some aspects of Gothic sculpture in Chartres Cathedral. But before that, it's necessary to mention that the early Gothic Basilica of Saint-Denis also had a rich cultural program, but unfortunately, due to some restoration works and due to the destruction of statues during the French Revolution, the original sculptural decoration of Saint-Denis did not survive, although now you can see its restored version. And the portals of Chartres Cathedral are similar to those of Saint-Denis, and the Chartres gem figures are statues, not reliefs, and they represent a growing naturalistic trend in the Gothic art and a growing artistic concern with individuality. And these figures represent the kings, queens, and prophets from the Bible, and they could be also regarded as French kings and queens, and that was the motivation for vandalizing the statues at Saint-Denis during the French Revolution. And these figures, they support the figures from New Testament above the doorways of the royal portal, and in the tympanums of the royal portal, viewer can see from left to right the ascension of Christ into heaven, the second coming, and also Christ on the lap of Virgin Mary. As I've told earlier, Virgin Mary was given a central role during the Gothic period, and she also appears on the tympanum of the north, in the tympanum of the north portal, which was decorated later in the beginning of the 13th century, and the viewer can see coronation of Virgin, Domitian, and Assumption. And the effects of Chartres portals in general are calmer and less dramatic than, for example, in comparison with the Vazac Romanesque tympanum. And the rebuilding of Chartres Cathedral was started after the fire of 1194, which destroyed most of the cathedral, but two towers and the west facade with the royal portal survived. And this rebuilding marked the beginning of the High Gothic period, but for now I'll just make some remarks about new sculptures. So portal statues of saints stand on pedestals on which there are images alluding to the legend of each saint, and figures are robed in cylindrical envelopes of drapery, and their heads were not anymore strictly in line with the central axis of the body. And Saint Theodore, for example, was portrayed as an ideal Christian knight, and his figure, the pose of his head, and his pose itself, I mean, he swings out a hip, all that resembles a classical Greek statuary. And again, the architectural setting did not anymore determine the pose of the statue. And also, just to add, an interesting decoration can be found in the Lan Cathedral. There are large statues of oxen in upper arcades of the towers, and these oxen are devoted to those who dragged the stones up the hill of Lan during the construction. Check the sources and listed in the comment and on the website.